game is called Forges of Ravenshire. This was sent to us by BA Games Company.
Is that short for badass? Yeah,
I'm assuming it is, but I don't know. It's a dice placement game. So, like worker placement, but with dice.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, you're about to find out, Dustin.
Sweet.
Go learn today.
So, going over the rules of how this game is played. It's played over the course of 4 seasons. We start in the springtime. We'll move on to the summer,
It's like
the autumn, and then the winter. And at the end of winter, we will see who has the most gold to see who wins. We are cute little woodland critters. There's no difference aside from color between any of those, but there is some asymmetry introduced with an advanced mechanic that we are playing with these apprentice cards. I have a guild advisor apprentice, which gives me a free guild member at the beginning of the game, and some other stuff that I don't know, but I'll look into that. The way that the game is played, now that we've gone around our asymmetry from our apprentice cards, it takes place over 4 seasons. Each season, there are 2 phases, a gather phase and a production phase. During the gather phase, we will all roll our dice to form our dice pool.
How many?
All of them.
Ooh.
Roll them all.
Ooh. Oh.
And then do not change those numbers.
Damn.
Now, when it's your turn, I've got the first player token just because I know the rules, so I'll kick things off. I don't remember if there's
Nepotism.
a way to start. Everybody's going to get a first turn. Just relax. On your turn in the gather phase, you will take one of the dice from your dice pool and place it into an empty slot on the main board. And then gain whatever reward associated with that number.
The number!
So, like if I place this 2 here, I'm going to get 1 charcoal based on that.
Charcoal, okay.
Yeah. Which
We got wood, charcoal, stone, hide,
bones,
iron bars.
You have a little
It's,
reference card.
you're
right
close.
next to your
You're
board.
close.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh. Hal didn't tell me about that. Sorry.
Thanks. So you track your basic goods on your player board over here. So if I were to gain that charcoal, I would just move this cube up to the number 2 slot. We all start with 1 of each basic good.
That's my charcoal.
And then you've got 10s and 20s to
That's
track
cool.
there as well. I think this is a really innovative system here. Like,
Yeah.
that's very
I
clever.
dig it.
I've seen that done before, but I like the different.
And I like the way that they stagger
Shapes.
things on these boards so that your cubes lock into
side,
place.
Yeah, that's a good.
Really clever.
Definitely cool mechanic.
Anyway, so you'll track your basic goods there. So after you place your die and claim your basic good, you then will take a die from any of the other slots on the main board.
You slut.
Any slot whatsoever. You'll keep the number, which won't matter during the gather phase, but it will matter during production phase. So you'll take, just as an example, I could take this one, but it doesn't have to be from the same space. I could take this one, for example.
Can you take your own back?
You cannot take the die that you just placed. When you take that die, you'll then bring it over to your player board and place it in the matching color guild
These are
on
guilds?
your board. And then you will immediately run that guild and gain benefits for each guild member in that guild.
Nice.
All right. Cool. Now, if only
Now-
I knew what a guild and guild member were.
So, I tried digging through this in the rule book today because I noticed there's white lines separating some of these rewards. I can only imagine that's an either or because there are some guild members that have them side by side and real big, which I mean, I
side
think that
by
means
side would be
that
an
means you
or
take
or
both. Yeah, I think like just as an example,
like that.
that guild
Yeah,
member,
that's a bow.
I think I'm getting both of those. That guild member, I'm pretty sure I have to choose one or the
Yeah,
other.
I would assume so as well.
I'll go real quickly over what all of these possibilities are. So just
we get
on
one
our
together.
starting board, these are all identical for everybody. You get to choose between either a talisman or dragon scales. These are mythic goods. There's a reference card for, mystic goods.
Mystics.
Mystic goods. Talismans, dragon scales, mithril,
mystic goods.
and ember gem.
Ooh.
These are everything except mithril are going to be used for market exchange stuff,
Okay.
and they're also going to be used for fulfilling contracts, which are the primary way to gain more money in this game.
Money. Okay.
But generally speaking, you're going to gain goods from guild members. That one is you can gain any basic good, which are the ones that you track over here, as opposed to with tokens, like the mithril.
Oh, okay.
Got
Makes
it.
sense. So that's what I
So
can
basic,
get with
you
my
can
thing.
get basic goods
One of
with
these
that
guys.
icon.
Got it.
Exactly. If you see this icon on a guild member, that means
Pile of gems.
that means you get any one mystic good.
Got it.
And then you'll see some that look kind of like this, where
Yeah,
you
what's
can.
that?
That's so the top option on this one, you gain a gold coin. The bottom option on this one, you will spend a gold coin to gain an action token.
Got it.
After you've run your guild, your turn is essentially finished. However, these action tokens can be spent at any point during the gather phase on your turn, except between taking a die and running the guild. You can't
interrupt
spend
that.
an action token in the middle of that process. But you can do it at the start of your turn, you can do it after placing a die, you can do it after running your guild. When you spend an action token, you can do any of the things that are listed on this actions reference card here. You can gain a contract, which again, these are the primary way to earn more money throughout the course of the game. At the start of the game, we are all eligible to complete basic contracts. That's the 1 star.
Okay.
So you have to be eligible to complete, you have to be eligible for that contract to claim it, but you can spend an action token to claim one of these contracts and then start working on fulfilling it, which we'll get to in a little bit. I didn't see anywhere in the rule manual that you replenish the card that you take, but there is an alternative action for spending action tokens, which is to refresh an entire row of contracts and take one of the new contracts that comes out. So if I wanted to refresh this row, I'd take all of these, put them face down on the bottom of the deck, add 3 new ones, and then I claim one of the new ones.
Cool.
So I can only refresh a row of contracts that I am eligible to complete. You will become eligible to complete other contracts by advancing along the reputation track at the bottom here. At reputation 2, you are eligible for rank 2 contracts. At reputation 4, you're eligible for rank 3 contracts, etc. and so forth.
I don't know.
Reputation, that is this anvil icon.
Oh, so I got to spend those to get increases.
That I'll talk about that when we get to production phase.
Good.
But
Oh,
the anvil icon means that's how you gain reputation. So other things you could do with your action tokens, you can recruit a guild member.
Okay.
You spend an action token, you come look at these guild members that are available in the guild hall. Claim any one of them and pay its gold cost, which is on the left side of it. And then add it to an open space on that color guild.
Any open space?
Any open space on that color guild.
Gotcha.
Now, as we sort of talked about earlier, Dustin, Bill, and myself all have our 4th row of guild members locked.
Yeah.
That is a purchasable upgrade, which has an action token. So that's another thing you can spend an action token on, is an upgrade.
Oh, I
One
see.
of the possible upgrades is to unlock that 4th row of guild members. This card right here is your market exchange.
Oh.
At any point during the gather phase, you can make one of these exchanges. So that's 3 basic goods for any 3 basic goods for 1 basic good. Kind of like Don't Let It Die.
I was going to say, it
3
sounds
for 1
like
trade.
a Jack, don't let it die mechanics here.
Or any 3 mystic goods for any 1 mystic
Don't Let
good.
It Die being the first board game ever to
Never to have that
to have a
mechanic.
trade mechanic. This next one, talismans, you can spend on any die you place or any die you claim at the time that you are placing or claiming them to change the value of that die by 1, up or down by 1.
Okay.
You can also spend multiple talismans on the same die if you want to change the value by more. The next one is you can basically buy 2 basic goods with 2 Ember Gem tokens. And the last one Another nice way to gain money, you can trade 1 dragon scale and 1 charcoal for 1 gold and any 1 basic good, which could be that charcoal that you spent. You can upgrade this with an action token, and then you just flip it over to the other side.
Oh.
Then your talismans will be worth changing 2 things. Your mystic goods cost less to
2 for 1?
to exchange,
And that's the only change.
and those are the only changes.
Oh.
You can also purchase upgrades to your forge, in addition to purchasing an upgrade to your guild hall there. You can upgrade your kiln, which will give you more steel when you get to the production phase, or upgrade your furnace, which gets you more charcoal when we get to the production phase.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
That's what those tokens are for.
Cool.
And again, Eric, with his apprentice card, starts with all of those upgrades unlocked. Dustin has a raven die, which is black with a white stripe down the middle. And that die... So
It's like an Oreo.
during the gather phase, we're each gonna get 3 turns to place dice and then claim new ones and run guilds with them. Dustin's Raven die is not in any way special when it's placed, but when you claim that die, and this goes for anybody at the table because anybody could claim that die off of the middle
this is mine.
board. When that die is claimed, it's wild. You can place it in any guild and run any guild with that die.
So when you take it?
When you take it, yeah, and place it, you can run any guild with it.
So how did that benefit me?
You start with it.
You start with it.
How is that? But it doesn't do any good until you take it.
You also get 2 basic goods of your choice at the beginning of every gather phase.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
What do I get?
But how does that
How
help
does
me?
Bill
Yes, Big Daddy.
has an extra die that you cannot use during the gather phase. So we'll talk about it in a second when we get to production phase.
Ooh.
Over
here for now.
And we already talked about yours. Before the I've got the guild advisor. Before the game begins, I'll get to recruit 1 available guild member for free and refill. Oh, you do refill when you claim a guild member. Good to know. So I get a free guild member that I get to add to my thing, and then at the end of the round phase, I may move 1 of my guild members to another column, or swap places with another guild member on my board. So I can move guild members about to other colors and stuff.
That sounds like cheating to me, but okay.
So we each take 3 turns.
I really care about fairness.
We each take 3 turns during the gather phase. At the end of the gather phase, we move on to the production phase. And generally speaking, we could do the production phase simultaneously. When we're probably on our first round, we'll take turns just to make sure we know how things are working.
Yeah.
Cool.
All of the dice that you have claimed during the gather phase and have placed in rows in your guild hall. Yes,
Hey,
exactly.
I've been to guild hall.
You will then get to... Now, Dustin, you'll only have 3. But for Bill, you'll have 4, because you have that extra die, that special
But I
die.
can't use it until...
You can use it in the production phase.
Okay.
The rest of us will only have 3 dice to use in the production phase.
That's
Bill has a 4th one to use in the production phase.
Thanks, referee.
He has an unfair advantage that I don't like.
I was born rich.
You place... You take those 3 dice that you gathered and place them into any open space on the right-hand side of your player board.
Fascinating.
And then you gain whatever reward is associated. So you've got the 4 at the top. Let me come over here. The 4 at the top up here. That you can... Those rewards are mostly self-explanatory. This first one, doesn't matter what the value is on the die, but if you place a die here, you get to run any one of your guilds and claim those associated rewards. If you place any die in this one, you'll get 2 action tokens. Number values matter in these last 2, but they get you basic goods and mystics
gotcha.
and money. And this last row here can gain you reputation, can gain you action tokens, can gain you 4 gold, depending on the number value of the die that you place there. You can also place dice in your furnace to get charcoal. potentially Ember Gem as well.
Ooh.
Potentially.
Or you can place a die in your kiln to get steel and potentially mithril. Dustin, Eric, and myself will all place 3 dice. Dustin, I believe the 3 dice you place have to be the ones that you run your guilds with. So not the the extra die that you'll keep. You'll just roll that. You get an extra die to choose from for placing. Oh, I stand corrected. During the production phase, you can choose from any of the 4 dice, including the one that you save.
Cool.
So you could just never place your Raven die on the main board,
Oh, haha!
and therefore have a wild available to you
Hey.
every round. After you have placed all of your production dice and claimed all of the associated rewards, then you can complete any of the contracts that you have. So during
forgot
the
about contracts.
during the gather phase, you've claimed some contracts, potentially, with
Yeah.
action tokens. So you'll have these that you've claimed during the gather phase. After you run claim all your rewards from your dice in the production phase, you can then spend basic goods based on what's listed on the left-hand side of the card to complete a contract and gain the reward down at the bottom.
That's how you get your monies.
Any contract that you have completed will go on your player board in one of the 3 slots for basic contracts, medium contracts, and advanced contracts. Just to keep track of how many contracts you have completed throughout the course of the game.
Okay.
Also, when you complete a contract, you have the option to give it a finish. A normal finish means you just did the basic requirements, you don't get any bonuses. But if you spend 2 mithril and 1 charcoal, you can give it a mithril finish and gain a reputation.
Ooh.
Or if you spend 2 ember gem and a charcoal, you can give it an ember gem finish and gain 4 gold.
Okay.
4 extra gold on it.
Okay.
You can only put 1 finish on a contract. And only 1 per, one of that, 1 finish
Because
per
it goes
contract.
in the slot, so
That actually,
completing it and putting it in the slot you completely did.
according to the rule book, it's just tier 1, tier 2, tier 3
Oh,
for these.
so that's just
But that's just a reference for what you can, what kind of finish you can put on each contract.
gotcha.
Actually, no, it does say when you're done with a contract, slot it into the space corresponding to the finish you applied.
Oh, so yeah, it's either.
Oh, yes, you
the
are correct,
finishes
Dustin.
Or
Yes.
nothing.
You put it in the...
Yeah.
If you don't put a finish on it, you put it there. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Okay.
You know what? Give me that Raven die. You don't.
And after we have completed any contracts, we will then check to see if anybody finished any titles. There are 5 titles laid out at the start of the game because it's a 4-player game. There would only be 4 of them if we had less than 4 players. So at the end of each round, we will check to see if anybody has completed any of these titles. This one is 5 contracts completed for that have a weapon icon on them.
Nice.
Oh, in top left.
In the top left, yes.
Okay.
Like so.
I see.
This one is a shield. The shield right, that's similar, but it's 5 contracts with the shield. That's 3 tier 2 contracts. This one is having 9 guild members in your guild hall. I do believe that your 3 starter guild members count towards that.
Okay.
What?
I'm not positive.
Okay, cool.
I'll have to check. I mean, you can cover those up, but why would you until you don't need to?
Yeah, not gonna.
Until you don't need them anymore.
Because fuck them, I guess. It takes you off.
And then the armorer one, the same as
They
these
know
ones.
what they did.
They
5
know what
basic
they
contracts.
fucking did.
Anybody who has completed one of those at the end of the round, and it could be multiple people for the same title, that's fine. Anybody who's completed one will gain the reward at the bottom, which each one is 10 gold. But then it will be
Money.
turned face down, and
No.
it cannot be claimed again for the rest of the game.
That sucks.
So it's a real race. Huh?
Yeah, you gotta get them.
Multiple people can get them in the same round, but
Gotta be
after
the
that
same
round
round.
is done, nobody gets them again.
All right. Okay.
We'll team up on Cap.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And then we re-roll all the dice
Oh, here we go.
and start a new round.
He's over there technically.
Oh, yeah.
One last thing I forgot about action tokens. I got sidetracked by stuff. One last thing I forgot about action tokens that you can spend action tokens on are overtime cards. You have 2 of them. They are each one-time use and then discarded
shit.
forever. You have to spend 2 action tokens to use one of these overtime cards. 2 action tokens for this one will get you a reputation point, and 2 action tokens for this one gets you 3 money. And again,
Interesting.
once you've done them, they're done.
Okay.
End of the game, we compare to see who has the most money at the end, and you'll gain bonus money for how far you've made it along in the reputation track.
Oh, hey.
You also have one final chance to do a market exchange, like sell your dragon scales for more money.
That was the thing.
You can then also use any unused overtime cards at the end of the game. So if you don't manage to spend action tokens during the gather phase on overtime, you can do that at the end of the game.
Okay.
Any leftover action tokens you've got left are worth 1 gold, and then whoever has the most gold wins.
All right.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.